Alright everybody, stocks by the numbers, welcome back, and I wanted to take a quick look here at EvoFem Biosciences, ticker symbol EVFM, listed here on the OTC, that's the over-the-counter market. Now, of course, we looked at this company a couple of times, and basically when we're dealing with an OTC stock, or, a lot of these micro-cap penny stocks, basically you're talking about a 100% speculative situation. For the most part, overall, we're also talking about just a long shot, a long-term hold that could potentially one day explode into a brand name company, that grows like a weed. But here, as we see, we're kind of having the opposite effect here with EvoFem. And I had someone reach out and say, hey, I had a big position. Now it's telling me I don't. And of course, I'm down, 90+%. What the heck's going on? Well, what's going on is the company did what's called a reverse stock split, right? So we're going to go over stock splits real quick. And a reverse stock split, basically what this means is they're consolidating shares, right? So now they're giving you one share for every 125 shares that you're holding, right? So that's a big reduction in the size of your position, right? Which is the opposite of a regular stock split. If we had 100 shares of Hershey and they announced a 3-for-1 stock split, what that means is they're giving you 3 shares for every 1 share. So if you had 100 shares, now you have 300 shares. With a reverse stock split, obviously that is the inverse of a stock split. So if we bring up our trusty calculator, and let's just say we had 40,000 shares, we now have to divide that number by 125, and you can see that your 40,000 share position is now only 320 shares. And usually, again, what a reverse stock split shows is essentially a massive financial red flag, and that's why sometimes you will have an exact jump up in share price, adjusting to the proportion that it was split. But even after the jump, you will see that the stock usually immediately drops down and sells off because, again, reverse stock split usually seen as a bad thing, not necessarily a good thing. But I will say, if you happen to be involved in EvoFem and, you're down big and, it didn't work out for you, I just want you to know that don't beat yourself up. Don't sweat the small stuff, and of course, learn from these experiences, right? So now you are better equipped moving forward when you look at future positions to determine should you take a position, should you not take a position, or if you want to take a position, should you expose yourself by this much like you did last time? You know what I mean? But of course, everyone's financial situation is different. And in my opinion, again, if you're investing into a stock listed here on the OTC, really no matter what it is, if you're investing into a company on the OTC, in my opinion, it should be with excess capital, again, that you can afford to lose and easily replace. But we can see that Aditxt apparently stepped in. We're talking about a $100 million acquisition deal to be paid out in common and preferred shares. And if we pull up Aditxt, you'll see that we're kind of talking about a very, very similar situation here, right? So in my eyes, it's like a speculative situation just bought out, an even more speculative situation. But apparently, they're pumped about that Phexi gel that EvoFem makes, the hormone-free vaginal gel. And apparently, they're going to, try to push it out worldwide and, expose all women to the gel, whatever. But as you see here, looking at Aditxt, you can see that this company also recently did a reverse stock split back middle of August of last year, and you can see this was a 1-for-40 reverse split, right? So what does that mean? That means for every 40 shares you're holding, you're only getting 1 share. And you can see what happens is, again, the stock value jumped up to adjust that split proportion, right? So it jumps up in proportion for the most part. And you can see that after it has that spike, it just continuously sells off. Because again, when investors hear about reverse stock splits, 9 times out of 10, those people are running to sell those shares. Now, of course, a lot of people may say, well, I've been in it for this long, right, and I'm down so much, so I might as well just, keep going, keep holding. So, I can appreciate the fact that, you may be taking that stance. But again, I just wanted to show, just looking at even another stock that did a reverse split, how you'll have the spike up in value, and then you'll have the immediate sell-off. But I will say, it's not always viewed as a negative. Because if we go back to one of our favorite stocks here, Fubo, we can see that back here, 2018, 2019, we had reverse stock splits. And the company, again, rose up in value and then basically continued downward to fall off a cliff. But I will say, you never know what you're dealing with, right? You never know what can happen. And even though in the immediate short term, you will have, a massive drop and a massive sell-off, of course, anything can happen. And looking at a situation like this, we may say that the company is essentially worthless. However, again, they get an offer. So, apparently there is value here. I mean, the company was generating, well, beginning to anyway, right? They were beginning to generate a couple of $1 million per quarter. So that's why, if they're feeling that in their opinion it's worth roughly $100 million acquisition price tag, then chances are they're looking to make that, if not more, in the future off of this Phexi gel and potentially anything else that EvoFem may have on the back burner. So only time will tell, but I just wanted to do a quick little update video here because I know someone asked basically, why their shares got reduced and what happened and how that reverse split worked. So just wanted to give an update there and just kind of walk you guys through, splits and what could happen afterwards. But I'll end it there. So once again, Stocks by the Numbers. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop it down in the comment section. I'm usually very quick to reply. Thumbs up algorithm helps me get more eyes on the channel. And of course, subscribe to the channel. That is our handshake agreement. That is how you help me help you. But more importantly, moving forward, like I always say, I understand that these markets are very rocky, they're very volatile, they're very uncertain. So I want to wish all of you success. Hope everyone makes a couple of dollars. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good weekend.